It is a big day over here. It is garage organization day. We have been waiting on these cabinets for a very long time. Back in December of 2022, we had a major water damage situation. So we had pulled in from being at family's house for Christmas and pulled into the garage, and there was water just flooding down through the ceiling of our garage. There was actually a pipe that burst in our laundry room, went through the floor, through the ceiling to our garage, and actually leaked through our garage to the basement. So it was through all 3 floors of our house, but the main damage was actually in the garage. This area that I am cleaning right now, these cabinets, we actually did not have anything there, and we wanted to add something up high. We figured because this is a tandem garage stall, we wanted it to be up high for a couple of reasons. Number one, so we could, if we ever at any point have 4 cars or for resale value and stuff, if somebody wants to park 4 cars in there, we're not taking away any space in the garage. So we just did cabinets up high here. And then also because we have a lot of strollers and other gear that we want to be able to put under that cabinetry as well. So we finally had to get a wall knocked out and rebuilt, which I'll show you in just a little bit. And we had cabinets there previously, and we got those redone and then wanted to get a little bit more put on here. So I am going to take you through the process of organizing these, getting everything put back in the garage, and you'll see we like to keep our garage space pretty minimal. I was reading some statistic the other day, and I can't remember. I'm just going to say this off the top of my head. I think it's 23% of people cannot pull a car into their garage because there's so much stuff in there. And I just am kind of mind blown by that. But I understand that a lot of people don't have a ton of storage in their house and use their garage as a backup storage space. We really try and just keep garage type things in our garage. So things that are meant for outdoors, we are going to keep in the outdoor space. Because we have kids, we have a lot of kids gear and stuff, and I know that collection is growing. Just wait till you see the amount of strollers that we have. But for now, I am just starting to fill these up. The far left one here, I am going to organize with some of our holiday stuff that we put in our potters out front during the winter time. Because these cabinets were just installed, I did have to wipe them off. The cabinets were really, really dirty, and the guy who installed them did let me know that before he left after he installed them. And then he didn't want to put the shelves in there because he wanted us to be able to put them at whatever level we wanted them to be at. So I am going through and putting the little pegs in there and then adding the shelves as I go, and I'm also wiping off all of the shelves as I go as well. My plan moving through the rest of these cabinets here is I think this next one I want to have a lot of the car seat gear and stroller gear. There's extra infant inserts and cup holders and rain covers and so many random things for car seats and strollers that I'm thinking a lot of that should go in one cabinet together. And then the other 2 I am playing around with, and mind you, I'm doing this all alone. Jim is not home right now, so I want him to have a say and an input. So I did all of this without him, and I was sending him some pictures throughout the day, but we did do some rearranging at the end of this after I had put everything in. So I will show you a final after of kind of how everything shook out and where we put everything. You'll see we don't have knobs on the cabinets right now. We did go and purchase some knobs and put those on. So you'll see the final after, but this is just the process of where my mind was at. And part of this too is you'll see I'm on a ladder. Obviously these cabinets are up very high and kids can't easily access this. I can reach the bottom shelf without a ladder, but beyond that, I probably need a ladder to even get to a second shelf. So when we bought the knobs, we also made a point to buy a step stool that is a lot lighter than this ladder, so I could easily grab things. But that also had an impact on what stuff we put where, because we did decide to move some of Owen's toys that you'll see I put in there a little bit later to a cabinet that's lower down that he can reach himself. You'll see here I am starting to organize all of the stroller gear and car seat gear that I was talking about. I had some of it stored in the basement, which made absolutely no sense because if we needed to switch something up, it was all the way in the basement. So that was way too far away from where we were using it. And whenever I organize, I like to keep things where I use it. And then the rest of it was in our mudroom. And again, it was closer to where we use it, but I want to keep everything together in one place. And now that we have these cabinets, this is going to be the place. I picked up all of these bins from Target. I just went with white bins and I am going to arrange them and make sure they all fit. I'm trying to figure out what works best, and I did measure this space first before going and buying bins, but also Target is not that far away from us. They're really easy to return to, so sometimes I will overbuy a little bit of product just so I can play around with organizing, see what works best, and then I can always go back and return a few things or buy more if I need to. These clear bins I did already have in the basement, so I'm trying to repurpose those here in the garage. I have some larger ones that I use for storing baby clothes in, and then I got smaller ones for other backstock things that I mostly keep in the basement. So you'll see I'm starting to fill up the other bins here with more of the toys, which is what I was talking about, that we do end up moving to a different spot later. I was trying to categorize them by balls and sports equipment, bubbles and chalk. We have sand toys. We have water toys. The water toys are out at the water table area out on our back patio right now. And then we did end up purchasing a sandbox, and the sandbox opens and closes and has a cover on it. So we actually ended up putting all of the sand toys just directly in that sandbox, and then when we're done playing with it for the day, we close it up and we leave the sand toys out there. They can get wet, so might as well just leave the sand toys in the sandbox, so I didn't end up needing a spot in the cabinets here for the sand toys. We have a baby pool here, which we're not really using this year because Henry is a little bit too small, I think, and Owen is maybe a little bit too big. So next summer, I'm sure we will use it a lot. So I'm going to put that in the bin. We may change our mind and blow it up halfway through the summer. But again, it's good to have a spot for it for the winter because it will need a storage place. And I'm just trying to keep that in mind of the seasons right now. So even if things are out and not being stored right now because it's summer, I need to still have a place to store them when it's winter, and vice versa. When it's winter, even though sometimes things are going to be put out, I will need a place to store them when it's summer. These are the cabinets that I was talking about that we previously had something here when we moved in, but it got destroyed by all of the water damage. The wall behind the cabinets is the wall that we had to tear out and have a new wall built. We had to have our whole entire garage repainted, which is actually kind of nice to give it a little bit of a touch up. Luckily, insurance did cover a fair portion of this, including getting the cabinetry done, but we again upgraded a little bit and added more cabinets, just took advantage of the opportunity. And the way that this setup was before was very similar. We kind of liked it that they had these 2 cabinets on either side, and then there was a table in the middle there. The previous owners of the house left these 2 stools, so we just like putting them under that little table there, and I can pull them out and sit on them if the boys are playing on the driveway or something like that. Just kind of a nice place to sit. And they did have a TV there. It was like a little outdoor bar area almost, which we don't have a TV out here, and I don't think we need a TV in the garage. I originally was thinking both of these units would be better for all of gym stuff like tools. There are some chemicals and cleaners that I think we'll try and put up a little bit higher. He also had some shoes that he likes to keep outside, so a couple of the shelves we can use for shoes that are really, really dirty and we don't want to bring inside. Again, I'm just going to play around with it, but I want to put as many things in these cabinets as humanly possible. I hate the visual clutter of garages, and you'll see at the end we really do get a lot of this stuff put away and get it looking pretty clean, and most of the stuff put into these cabinets. While the cabinets were being built, we had everything sitting out on the open shelves. These are monkey bars is the name of the system. Those were also there previously. You can buy the monkey bars system. They're incredibly strong, very high quality. I don't think they're inexpensive. I think they're pretty expensive. We did end up buying one more part for hanging up some strollers, which you'll see when I show you the final after. But I hated having all of these chemicals and cleaners and like bug spray things all sitting out on that cabinet. Every time we pulled into the garage, I could see all of those just loose bottles sitting there. So I grabbed an old organizer that I had and started putting the cleaners in there. I like having the cleaners within something just in case there is a spill. I don't want to ruin the new cabinets or the shelves. So I'm trying to fit everything in there. Jim can go through and declutter anything he wants to get rid of, because I definitely was seeing some duplicate products, and I don't know if that's because he needs both of them or some of them are running low. Regardless, that'll be his job. Then I started to store all of those dirty shoes that I was talking about that he probably will want to keep outside, and we had a lot of shelves here, so I can really take advantage of that space. Here you can see is a full view of that other monkey bar system that was previously installed in our garage. Really handy for shovels and tools. We have our leaf blowers there, but there was some stuff up top that I was trying to see if I could pull down and find another home for. Of course, there are certain things like fertilizers and chemicals that I don't want to put in the cabinets. Those I'd rather have them sit out, but a few things we had, like other sports equipment for us, adult sports equipment, I was putting higher up in that cabinet over there. I was thinking it was going to be like a sports area. I have my figure skates I ended up putting up there. Jim has some golf stuff, like a baseball bat I'm sure you saw. Owen has some hockey skates I put in there, and a few other things. Then that far left cabinet that we started with, where I put the winter items that go in our pots out front. I also have some gardening supplies. Some are indoor gardening supplies and some are outdoor gardening supplies, but there was some open space there, so I decided to take advantage of it and store those things right there, because I am not doing my indoor garden during the summer because I can plant things outside. Now I feel like I'm just randomly putting things in these shelves until Jim gets home and has a chance to really look through everything and help me out. I went inside and tried to figure out if there was anything else in our mudroom that I could bring into the garage, and I was able to find some batteries, like an air pump. I think there was something with a license plate or something. Just really anything car related, garage type related, I want out of the house and in the garage. So with all of that stuff just put away as best I can, I found a place to put a knee pad and some gardening gloves. I am going to add in the rest of the cabinets that we have, or the rest of the shelves that we have. I think we still had a couple more, but I couldn't find any pegs. So you'll see that that one that I just installed, I still need one more peg. So I just stopped there, and we need to buy a couple more pegs because we also need some more pegs in our basement too. So we need to run to the hardware store and get that. I'm just giving everything one more wipe down. And then, like I said, I'm gonna show you a final after, and you can see how we've rearranged everything. You can see that we've added knobs to these so we can open and close them a lot easier. And we've tried to make it as accessible as possible for the kids to be able to grab balls and other things like that that they might want to grab, and then taking advantage of that higher space for things that we might want to access or we use less often. So I'm really happy with how this turned out. I hope you enjoyed today's video. I hope you liked the final after, but until next time, I will see you all later.